All right, let's go. It's cleaning time. Now look, we all absolutely hate coming home from a weekend wheeling and having to deal with a dirty truck. I spent the last 10, 15 years traveling all throughout Australia. I would hate to know how many times I've had to clean my four-wheel drive. Now look, used to get home, get a bucket, tip some truck wash in, run around, sweat your ass off, and you know, your truck was still half dirty. But I'll tell you what, I've teamed up with the guys at Salt Shift, and finally they've made this process not just easy, but it's actually a bit of fun along the way. So I've got a bucket full of goodies here. I'll run you through sort of how I clean my four-wheel drive when we come home. So I've been up the beach, she's got a bit of salt and sand under it. We come home on some dirt roads, so I want to give her a little bit of a polish up. Obviously we're giving this thing away, so I need to keep it clean for you guys. So let's run through exactly what we got, and we'll rip in, eh? All right, let's go. I'll just pull everything out of the bucket and run you through. Obviously this one straight on the end of the gurney. This is our foam gun. We'll get stuck into that later. A chamois. Now you would have used those old school chamois, guys. They sort of worked, they sort of didn't. This thing is absolutely epic. Massive big towel. You'll see how easy that is to use at the end. This flash little bit of kit, something you might not have seen. This goes underneath. This is your at-home underbody car wash. No more need to get off the beach, line up for an hour, hour and a half while everyone's cleaning their cars, guys. This is the first step, so we'll get stuck into that one very shortly. All right, so we got the mighty degreaser, guys, straight underneath the bonnet. Obviously, anywhere you got that dirt, grime that you really want to clean off around all those leaking bushes, you know, make it look real good before you sell the car. So we got some of that. We got Fine Shine, guys. This is your vinyl and plastic cleaner. You know, when you've got, you know, I don't have a lot of it. I'm running bar work, but you know, all your mud flaps, any of those little bits of black plastic that tend to just fade over time and look absolutely shithouse, bang some of this on, give her a little bit of a polish, and they look Mickey Mouse brand new. Got a couple of brushes in here, soft brush, a harder thistled brush for some of those more grimy places. This little thing comes in extremely handy. I'll run through exactly what we do with this very shortly. This is for your outboard applications, and we're going to use it with the chassis flusher. So stay tuned for that one. This little gadget here will absolutely change your life when it comes to cleaning your chassis rails. No more just sitting the hose in there, come back when it's fallen out later and just letting the water trickle through the bottom. This honestly is one of the best things I've seen come out in the last 10 years to do with cleaning your chassis rails. Nice big sponge, guys, for washing. A bit of outboard cleaner, we won't use that today. And this is the main ingredient, the off-road wash. This thing's perfect. It dissolves all of your salt. You know, even the best thing about this one's the mud lifter. So if you're covered in mud, you'll see what happens in a minute. This is your foam. We'll chuck it on, foam her all up, and you can watch the magic happen right in front of your eyes. Let's rip in. All right, like I said, this is your underbody blaster. This is basically deleting having to wait in those lineups. So no more just putting the sprinkler under the four-wheel drive when you get home. 3 little sections. You can use 2 if you want. I like 3. This one's linking up with the gurney, so this is the fitting that suits my gurney. Simply click this bugger on here like that. Have a look at that, flash little thing. Righto, here we go. We got the magic wand all rigged up. Now look, I told you this comes in handy for a few locations. If you want, you can clip this in line on your hose, fill it up with your off-road wash, and not only will you be getting high pressure, you'll also be getting your bubbles to break up all that salt and sand. Now we're gonna be a little bit lazy today, we're gonna leave that one. I'm probably gonna get drenched, but rip into that. You can see the pressure that comes out. Little bend in the pipe here just makes it nice and easy to get all those angles. So I tend to start at the front and just work my way back. And basically, you pretty much just go back and forwards like you would up one of those underbody car washes. So as you're using this, you'll slowly learn where the hard spots on your four-wheel drive are, where all the mud and sand tends to build up. So you always get that build up of mud along underneath your side steps there. So you can just sort of chill there, give that a nice little wash out. I can see a fair bit of sand that has probably been stuck in there for a while, sneaking out. Righto, so once you are happy and content that the underbody is Mickey Mouse, look how easy this is. Clip that off. We'll grab our foam cannon here. Now look, I've just tipped some water in this. There's a trick for young players. Fill it with water first, because if you put the soapy stuff in the bottom and then fill it up, she foams up. So we'll fill that up, grab some of your off-road wash here, about 50 mil, which is probably about that, little squirt extra for good luck. Put our nozzle back on. All good quality fittings too, guys. All really nice brass fittings, which I love. It ain't plastic shit. Clip that onto our gurney and we are away. Straight into it. Holy Batman. So it does have adjustability. So you can have your spread. You just want to go to your spreads right and then we're away. Have a look at that. They don't do it this good at the car wash. So don't be shy with it. Do all your wheels, all your tyres, throw a little bit on the inner guards, chuck a little bit underneath as you're cruising. Not only is it actually really easy, but it's a bit of fun too. It's kind of therapeutic. Get that windscreen. Woo! We're just going to work our way around the vehicle. The idea is to make the whole entire thing look like it's been in a snowstorm. Don't want to miss the side steps. Underbody a hit. Because it's under pressure as well, this sneaks into all those hard to get to places that there's absolutely no chance you're going to get to by using your typical foam wash. Now look, I still got a little bit left and I've gone heavy the whole way around the vehicle. Literally by using 50 mil of that big bottle, you're going to get a bucket load of washes out of it. Anyway, next step. All right, so now I've worked around the whole vehicle, and this is where the magic really happens, guys. So instead of getting your foam and your bloody scrubbing brush and just moving all the mud and dirt around, what this is doing is pulling all that salt, grime, mud and grit off of your paintwork, and while it's working hard, instead of you, we can go swap the fittings, get ready to wash it all down, and then you'll see all the mud, salt and everything just literally fall off your truck. Happy days. I switched the foam gun just for the gurney nozzle. Now, this is about when you want to hit it, 1 to 2 minutes. So normally by the time you've worked your way around the truck, you've changed the fitting, you're pretty much good to go. You can see it's still dripping off, but it's not dry yet. If you're in the sun, you might want to work a little bit quicker, but always I start top of the truck, work my way down, so you're pulling that grit and grime down with you. When you're cruising around and you're starting to gurney off, if there's any little sections that obviously, you know, you got bird shit, you got grime that's stuck on there, you just grab your little sponge, grab your bubbles. You can give those areas a little bit of extra working if they need it. My car was pretty clean, so we didn't have too much to worry about, and then you can jump straight back on the gurney. I finished gurneying off. Before I go and grab this chamois and get stuck in, I'm going to throw this on, and as I'm chamoising, I can just move this around the car. So this is your chassis flusher, guys. Now, you can say, yeah, you could stick this in the chassis rails and let it flush out. You're talking about this much pressure drizzling into the bottom of your chassis rails, filling up the bottom inch of your chassis if you're lucky, and then hoping it's going to push everything out. Now the salt and sand is everywhere in your chassis, not just in the bottom quarter. So this is an absolutely epic little invention, and it's only from Salt Shift, guys. So you can clip that on. That's just an extension. You can go straight onto the fitting itself. As you can see, guys, instead of just having that water drizzle in, this is basically what's going to happen. So you've got that high pressure spraying in absolutely every single direction. All right, so all you got to do, find the hole in your chassis. You can literally feel those magnets clip on. I even have a little bit of rubber flap in the way there, and it still pulls on tight. Let it rip. That's absolutely destroying the inside of your chassis right now, getting all that salt and sand off. Hear it working its magic, spraying that water in absolutely every different direction, getting all the salt and sand off the whole entire chassis, not just that bottom inch. You can already see the water starting to flood out now, guys. That's going to grab all the salt, all the sand, flush it down, and get it out of those chassis rails. Now, if you want to get really flash, once again, you can use the off-road wash, clip it in between your hose here, and you'll be getting that off-road wash inside your chassis rails. Don't have to do it every time, but every sort of big cleanup when you're really going to give her a bit of love, definitely recommend getting some of that in there just to protect the inside of the chassis rails. While this is working its magic, we'll let it go and I'll start chamoising the truck. Important part that people always forget, there's no point in washing your car unless you're going to give it a chamois. So absolutely massive towel chamois, guys. Look how quick we can hit this canopy and she's dry. That'll stop all those little streaky marks, which is not what you want after you've just cleaned your vehicle. Work your way around, hit all your windows, and look, guys, it's pretty simple. You know what goes on from here. For the midgets, chuck it on there, pull it back. You can even get the wet spots in the middle of the bonnet. All right, so before we get into cleaning this thing too good, Mighty Degreaser. This is something that people always forget about. It's under the bonnet. They leave it for years. All the dirt, grime, salt, everything starts adding up. This is the motor. This is the expensive part of the vehicle. You want to make sure you look after it. So the Mighty Degreaser, you literally just get this thing, turn it on first, helps. So you turn the little nozzle at the top. She's water-based, and whenever you're cleaning your truck, guys, you can literally, you know, stay away from your batteries, but you can give everything a nice, good coating underneath here. Give that thing a hiding. You can do up under your engine bay, up under your bonnet, I should say, as well, guys. Get all that dirt, dust. This will make her absolutely sparkle. So once you got that loaded, give it a minute, let it sit on, let it do its work, let it pull that dirt and grime away from all your plastics and metals and bits and pieces. We'll hit that with the gurney and she'll look Mickey Mouse. I've used a few of these different washers over the last couple of years. Some are full of shit and some are absolutely unreal. The Salt Shift one does exactly what it says. The boys have spent the time with the chemists to make sure that salt, sand and all the grime's coming off. So next time you're going to try and clean your four-wheel drive, make it easy on yourself. Jump over, check out Salt Shift, grab yourself some off-road wash. I'm telling you, you'll be stoked.